Welcome to Egg Foo. What? First and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of Egg Foo. What? Young Michael, I'm back from my vacation. I'm not feeling too great. I'm grumpy. I'm depressed about vacation being over. I feel crappy. So it's up to you to turn my day around.
Put the pressure on. Yeah, I was just going to say, most people come back from a vacation rejuvenated, sort of re-energized, ready to go. My first impression seeing you is like, what the hell happened?
Thank you, buddy. My only regret is I won't be able to hear you at my own funeral.
But what's going on, man?
Yeah, I just woke up. Sometimes just, I was a little worn out after the vacation anyway, just because, I don't know. I just woke up and I wasn't feeling myself, so I took the day off of work. So I'm just kind of not at 100%. That's what I'm saying today. So
Okay, when did you get back?
Sunday.
Okay, and you were there for a week?
What are you grilling me? Seeing that my
Well,
story?
no, I mean, I'm sure the
you want to see
listeners,
my receipts?
the listeners are interested. Where you spent your vacation? What happened?
Yeah, it was it was a big family get together. A lot of kids, which is great. So we had fun at a resort in Cancun, celebrate very important 60th birthday. I'm sorry, 60th wedding anniversary, 80th birthday. Not of mine on either account. It was fantastic. It was one of those things, you pay it all in, so you don't have to worry about money as you go throughout the week or whatever. So it was delightful. There's Tootsies in the sand. Those
all inclusive. I think that's what they call it.
All inclusive. That's right.
All right.
It was very nice. I'll say this: the food mostly stunk, which wow. I don't care because I was just excited. Just go around and eat whatever you want. And
yeah,
I got room service. So when the hell am I getting room service? If the best thing out of room service at one of these places is the jumbo hot dog.
Wow.
Maybe. But the last night we were there, we ate at this one place that may have had the best lasagna I've ever had in my life. I've had two great lasagnas. The first one I think I've mentioned was at the Heathrow Airport. And now some random restaurant at a resort in Cancun. If I'd had this lasagna on the first day of vacation, I'd have gone there every day. It's a little weird, I guess. My two favorite lasagnas are those two places, but it was
lived
fantastic.
In New York for several years.
I know. I lived in New York for 15 years.
Couldn't find good lasagna in New York.
Plenty of good lasagna in New York, but the two that have turned my head were in the Heathrow Airport and at a all-inclusive resort in Cancun. But yeah, it was just what as these things always are. That you look forward to it for months, and then in 10 seconds it's over. So you're bummed about that, and I just wasn't feeling right. So, but the whole thing in and of itself was fantastic. Had a lot of laughs. I thought I'd get some Egg Foo what stuff with a couple of my little Kid Empire minions were down there, but before you know it, it's like Thursday, and
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I mean, Chinese food in Mexico, what's that like?
Well, we had Asian. We had the grill, like hibachi grill, with the chef.
Yeah. Okay.
He was great, but even that food kind of stunk. But he was great. So yeah, I didn't get too much chance for any work, but it was fantastic.
I mean, I thought I saw a fortune cookie in one of your social media posts. Where did that come from?
From the hibachi grill.
Oh, okay.
So I was laughing. I'm like, how many weeks in a row had I gone without getting one? Here I show up in Mexico and I get a fortune cookie. So, but well, how was your week? Since I'm grumpy, you have to carry us this week.
No, I mean, It's okay. I'm still struggling with my out of whack sleeping pattern, which is just
Mhm.
boring. But uh,
But
it's
what have you tried anything or?
no, I, yeah, I got all these
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is then.
No, I got all these recommendations. Now, a friend of mine who used to work shift work, and his 8 hour shift would change week to week, which was insane. But he said to just he recommended just staying straight up. Don't do those little short naps I do like at 10 in the morning.
Mhm.
Just go straight through the day. This way, you'll be totally exhausted by a normal time, and then you'll be able to get back into the schedule, which
That's
makes
like what they say
sense.
about jet lag, right? Just plow through it.
Yeah, just plow through. Yeah, but of course, I haven't done it yet. But at least I have the idea, and at some point, I think I will do it, and maybe today will be it. I didn't really get much sleep today,
Mhm.
so I think I'll be tired at a regular time.
A
And then
nation is pulling for you.
um, I don't know if you saw my post. I generally don't do a lot of rest in peace posts when famous musicians, actors, or
Mhm.
whatever die. But if I don't know if you saw Gary Young, the drummer from Pavement,
I
passed away.
saw your post. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a great anecdote about Gary Young. I went to see him early on. I guess it was the early '90s. But I guess it was around the time of Slanted and Enchanted, maybe right before.
Let me. I've talked before about how that's my favorite record of the early '90s. Was he the original drummer that got kicked out pretty early, or was he around for a while?
Well, it turns out he was more than just their drummer. He had a studio in Stockton, California,
Mm,
and he basically he recorded. He did the early recordings for them.
okay, because he was like 10 years older than
Yeah,
the other guys. Mike is holding up a album.
this is a Perfect Sound Forever by Pavement. It's not even a full album. It's a 10-inch, right?
Let me. I did get some pop constructive feedback while on vacation because even then I'm working for you.
Okay.
Uh, one of our super fans. Okay, it was Will. Uh, our fans may know him as the guy who thinks that Waddy is the most beautiful looking man in the world. Trucks and memories. He brought up a good point. We do need to be mindful when we hold up records to
not
say what
not
they are.
everybody's watching. Yeah.
Right. That's all. I
Well,
said,
that's
whoa,
your
whoa.
job now.
I said, whoa, Will, take it easy.
Uh-huh.
Back off Mike a bit. Give him a
Uh-huh.
chance. And then he
See,
started talking about how he's lost in Waddy's eyes or something. So
no, I'm going after that specific record nerd audience on YouTube,
it doesn't
and
have eyes.
so yeah. I mean, I do realize people aren't always watching, and
That's
I
all. Little
I
constructive
understand that.
note. Little constructive note.
But anyway, yeah, Gary Young passed away, and he was very instrumental in recording them early on, and he came to be the drummer for the band for the early years. He's on Slanted and Enchanted. But when I went to see him at Maxwell's, which it's a relatively small venue,
Mm-hmm.
you've been there before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that after Slant? Was that on the Slanted tour or?
It was, I think it may have been right before it came out.
Oh, okay.
I'm bad with like
People say Slanted and Enchanted tour, but I just say the Slanted tour because that's
I'm bad with exact dates for things. It all sort of blurs together for me. But it was early before. Yeah, I would say it was before Slanted and Enchanted came out.
Mhm.
So they went on stage. Unfortunately, I did a fair amount of pre-gaming, so I was in the men's room. Next thing I know, Gary Young has joined me in the men's room.
Hey Gary,
So it's like,
nice,
hey,
nice.
aren't you supposed to be on stage? So we had a little interaction. It was amusing. So I shared that anecdote on Twitter, and it turned out to be my most popular tweet ever. I think I got about over 500
Ever.
responses.
You've had some big tweets in your day.
Well, not that big.
Wow.
And then so there were posts on Instagram as well. I posted over there, and it got good response. I think a lot of people. It was a nice, funny little story that people could remember him by because he was sort of unpredictable on stage. I guess his big thing he would do handstands, sometimes rather perilous ones on the stool behind his drum kit, which I'm surprised he didn't injure himself severely, but he apparently was good at doing handstands. But rest in peace, Gary Young. Made some great
R.I.P.
music.
Gary. Why weren't we just talking about Slanted and Enchanted?
We were talking about it. Like there's a movie out, which is named after the name of his studio was Louder Than You Think. And yeah, a documentary just came out maybe last month.
Yeah, I feel like we were talking about it for some reason. We were talking about how, I assume it was you and me because nobody else talks to me. About how, yeah, we were wondering how, like, I even knew the album was coming. Like, remember we were talking about that? Like,
yeah, I mean,
how in those olden days did we even hear about these things? Much less, for some reason, I was anticipating this record.
I heard about this album on FMU. Gerard Cosloy had a show that I liked. And
he is holding up another album.
It's the same album, but it's a 10-inch. It's not even a full 12-inch album. But
R.I.P. Gary.
So yeah, that was the first time I heard of them. Debris Slide was the first song. I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, it had a different sound to it. A lot of people sort of they said that, Pavement lifted their sound from The Fall. I was never a huge Fall fan, so
I've heard that before, but I was like, nobody has ever listened to The Fall. Like, like I barely have a sense of who The Fall were. Like, I think they were on maybe they were on that Burning Ambitions comp, and I have no idea. So it's like, come on now.
I only have their sort of I think I've got about 3 of their CDs, those 2 greatest A-sides, B-sides, whatever. They do a really great Kinks cover though. I think Victoria, I think they do.
Ooh,
yeah.
All right. Now you're scratching me where I itch.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that's what we were talking about with Pavement. I think right after we were recorded last week, I learned about Robbie Robertson dying. We didn't talk about that before, have we?
That happened right before our previous show.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Like, I think that day, and I think I was a little surprised he didn't come up because I assume you're a big fan.
Yeah, but maybe I missed it until after the show. And
I think
so
it happened right before.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up. So I'm bringing it up now.
All right. He's holding up a record, ladies and gentlemen.
Music from Big Pink.
All right.
The first album, which, as you can see, I didn't play this record a lot. This didn't really.
It does look pretty pristine.
It is, right?
You've probably had it for a while. Like,
oh, I have.
Yeah.
Keep my stuff in. Yeah, my brother didn't get to this one. I talked about my brother, who was the destroyer of all records. Once
the real Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Once he liked a record, forget about it. I knew that record was going to be destroyed. Didn't get his hands on this one. I didn't really quite grasp this one as much as this one, the big one. Just the band, the second album. And this record is a great record. I mean, I don't know what your feelings are about the band. I just thought I'd go in cold with you.
Yeah. I've never been able to wrap my head around the band. Like, they're one of those bands you're like, most of my music geek friends love them. a lot of bands I love, you could tell we're influenced by them. I have a lot of respect for them, like as musicians and whatever, but I've never gotten past like their big three hits. I tried to listen to probably the Big Pink one, could never get into it. I could never understand who was singing, why did one guy write everything, but then the drummer sang? I could never get my head wrapped around
Yeah, it
any of
is a
that
little
stuff.
confusing. I mean, they
A little
had
confusing.
three singers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
and the guy who was writing most of the song wasn't singing.
yeah.
It's unusual.
So I've always felt like, well, that's just one of those bands I just don't get,
Uh-huh.
which is, hey, that's possible, it's legal.
Uh-huh.
But I was comforted. I brought up the band after him dying to another music geek friend of ours who, okay, it was Will. He was talking about Waddy, something about when Waddy gets a new haircut in the fall, how beautiful it is.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out I thought he would be like, when you think he was a huge band fan?
Well, yeah, come to think of it, I don't remember him ever mentioning them, but
I just always assumed plus, I've always loved his music over the years. There was a stretch there, whatever band he was in, I felt like he was trying to rewrite The Weight, their big song. But anyway, and he surprised me. He was like, yeah, he's like, I'm like everybody else. I love their top stuff is off the charts, amazing. And most of the rest is garbage. Which I said, well, that sounds like the Jam to me. The Jam is like, they have all those incredible singles, but if you go one deep on any album, you're like, what the fuck? So I was a little comforted. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only person in the world who just can never get into
no, I mean, I would say the two records I just held up, or you should check those out.
Don't tell me what to do, Mike.
What are the other two songs? You said, well, you like more songs than Neil Young, so you said three. What are the other two?
I don't know about that. Neil might have these guys beat. I like The Weight just like everybody else.
Right.
I guess The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, but that sounds like an old Civil War.
Yeah,
like,
see, I'm not even a big fan. I'm not a big fan of that. I remember, actually, I'm old, so I remember when that was on the radio. That was a hit.
Yeah.
And I remember that being played on the radio all of the time. So yeah, I'm not a particular fan of that song.
It's all right. Like Up on Cripple Creek, I hate.
You hate?
Mike's diving into he's pulling out the album since I said I hated it.
What about Rag Mama Rag?
No.
Whispering Pines is a beautiful song. Richard Manuel. He co-wrote that one.
Yeah. I just can never, some bands you just don't connect with, even though, I have a healthy respect for them. And they had their big hit. I was in college with Atlantic City. That was a good version.
Yeah, Robbie Robertson wasn't part of that group.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
Okay. Well,
I guess
weird too. Then I got to think. It's like, oh, I love this Pogues album, but it's the one without Shane MacGowan. It's the first one without Shane MacGowan. So then I'm confused. I'm like, well, which is this and that? So then it's just so that.
Yeah, that was I don't know how they got to use the name, the band, for that late era album with Atlantic City, but
was it Acrimonious? What was the?
I don't know. Well, Levon Helm claimed that they didn't get enough. Well, Robbie Robertson's name got writing credit on everything, and Levon Helm claimed that other members of the band should have got writing credits because I guess they developed the songs and
so their first big moment in the sun without Robbie Robinson is a cover by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been a while since I played that album. I have it kicking around here someplace, or the CD. But yeah, that's a really good cover. But yeah, there was a lot of bad.
As sacrosanct as that, you have to have a sort of gravitas to pull it off.
Yeah,
I thought they did.
Yeah.
But I thought you'd have been a bigger band than you seem to be, or a bigger fan than you seem to be.
Well, The Last Waltz, have you seen that?
Well, see, that's another thing that pisses me off. I'm always like, Last Waltz, oh, this is about the band's breakup. Then I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were around for like another 20 years.
No, not really. I mean, it was all sort of falling apart then, and
It seems
Um,
very anticlimactic in terms of, oh, this is our retirement, and then it still always popped up though.
yeah, I mean, I think altogether they didn't put out a whole lot of albums. I mean, I think, there's about 6 or
Mhm.
7, and yeah, there's a drop off in quality after those first 2 records. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll acknowledge that. But yeah, it didn't last, and yeah, they pulled the plug early. I guess
I mean, they spent
that
more time as Dylan's backing band than anything, really, right?
yeah, they played a few years. They played with Ronnie Hawkins early on.
You think he
Uh,
got pissed off when he wasn't invited to be Ronnie Robinson when he wasn't Robbie Robinson when he wasn't invited to be in the Traveling Wilburys? You think? You think he got upset?
well, I mean, they were all singers in that band, right? I mean,
Still want to get the invite. Nobody's inviting Dylan because we got to get his voice in here, right?
well, he's a big name. He's a singer, you know.
Who else would have been on that list? Did Bruce was Bruce like, yeah, of course I want to
Well,
join, but it's nice to get an invite.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Bruce,
know how
Robbie
that's an
Robinson.
interesting question.
Thank you,
How
Mike.
how did I think I read it. I mean, didn't what's his name? Jeff Lynne sort of come up with the idea for the Traveling Wilburys.
Well, he had to because he has no actual talent. So of
Oh, come
course,
on.
of course
ELO
he's
has some
looking.
great songs.
Okay, sure.
The
Uh,
Move, The Move.
of course he's the one orchestrating everybody else because
Mhm. Well, he
yeah,
needed a project, yeah.
he needed a project. Yeah,
So,
but yeah, that's a short list right there. People who were miffed and not being invited in the Traveling Wilburys. I think that's. I'd watch that documentary.
I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, you know what to do.
Hey, put it in the
Put the correct
comments if you're wrong.
information in the comments. I make mistakes. I'm human.
Hey, if
Uh,
that.
so I went to see Oppenheimer yesterday.
Uh-oh. Let me guess. Not impressed.
Well, the first 2/3 of the movie are interesting. It's an interesting subject.
Mhm.
My first impression was, this needs a longer Ken Burns type documentary to really give us all the details.
I'm down
Even
for it.
even a 3-hour movie is going to come up short, because a lot of these, there's people coming and going in this movie, and I'm trying to keep track, and it's
Yeah.
a little difficult because there's so many.
It's like a Dickens novel.
And then after the big blast, which I have to say, the suspense that builds up to the big blast is quite effective.
Mhm.
It's like you're literally and it's a weird thing to be doing where you're actually can't wait until that damn bomb goes off. You're
Mhm.
like, this is exciting.
Well,
The
that's
bomb
good.
is gonna go off. We're all gonna be incinerated. And the way it's presented in a movie is worth seeing.
I
Um
still need to see it. I was waiting for it to. I keep saying I'm waiting for it to be so I can see it on IMAX. Every time I check, it's packed full, but it's been a couple weeks now, so I should probably be able to get a seat.
you know what? The IMAX,
That's another thing I heard that you don't really need the IMAX.
yeah, I mean, for that one scene, maybe it's a thrill, but the rest of the scenes are people talking.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I don't
yeah,
know why I got
it's
into my head. The other thing is because I like to review movies before I see them and shit on them. If possible. There's a love story and a sex scene. I'm like, of all fucking movies, Hollywood has this. No matter what the subject, somebody walks in and says we have to have a love story or something. Even for this movie, they're like, we
it
have to have a sex scene. We have
it's
to
not.
have a love
Yeah, I
story.
mean,
For
it.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's there. It's part of the guy's personal life. Um, I don't think a lot would have been lost without the nudity. And there's
Hollywood just can't fucking do even this about a scientist who most people would rail on as being a nerd
Mhm.
who either helped to save the world or destroy the world. You can have your choice. Even with that, you know what? They're like, we better throw in some sex and
Uh-huh.
romance. It's as they cannot help themselves. You think if there was one movie, they wouldn't be tempted with that? It'd be this.
Yeah.
Nope,
Yeah.
can't do it. I'll pay $1,000 to anybody who can, with a straight face, tell us it made the movie better.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with, maybe one scene, but then there's
Why?
there
Why do we need it? So what
well,
you said,
no,
oh, he has a
I
personal
agree.
one.
I mean, I could live without it. Yeah, it would be no great loss. But, if they want to show that he had this relationship with this woman, yeah, okay, they had sex too. That's
Would,
part of the relationship.
would Ken Burns have done that?
No, Ken Burns wouldn't have done that.
Can
But
we have at the beginning of real movies just have a thing that says, this movie is about a character. Yes, this character had a private life in which he probably had relationships.
mhm.
Now enjoy the movie.
No,
Right?
I understand your point. And in this movie, there's there's a surreal scene where it's a scene, there's some nudity, and it's happening in the character's mind. So it's not even real. I'd like to see you when you see that scene because your eyes will be rolling.
Right.
you know,
So they'll,
uh,
they'll just even make it up if they have to, because Hollywood cannot, they're incapable of letting a movie slip through without a sex scene. I don't know how
well,
Last Temptation of Christ got through without one. And to be honest, it probably didn't.
yeah, I think there's marketing involved, and to get an R rating, yeah, there's a lot of calculations that go into it, and most of it, like you said, is done badly. It just seems gratuitous and unnecessary. So I take your point. I take your point.
If Hollywood handled the filmings of like the birth of your child or your wedding, they would still feel the need to slip in a scene. Oh, Mr. Lisk, here's the video of the birth of your twin sons. Oh, by the way, we thought it'd be a little better if we slipped in a sex scene with your love interest. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I derailed your.
You're rambling. You're rambling. Why don't we just get to our dish?
Well, what was your review?
I think it's okay. I think it's worth seeing. I try to endorse any movie that is for adults. So
Yeah,
so
good
so
point.
so I try to make the effort to see it in the theater. I was talking on the Best Show. Apparently Tuesdays is a great time for senior citizens to go to the movies.
Ooh.
So not only did I get the senior citizen discount, which everybody should do now, everybody's getting their tickets on their phone now, right?
Yeah,
So who's checking if you're a senior?
that's a
You
good
know,
point.
it's strictly the honor system. So I say, get the senior discount, save a few bucks. They're
It's
happy
like
to have you.
Amtrak. When Amtrak, oh, business class first, and then everybody but you goes, and I'm like, all these people did not buy a business class seat. So then I just started just walking, and they don't check.
Okay.
Why is Tuesdays the thing?
Well, Tuesday apparently, I guess, is a slow day at the movie theater, so there's a Tuesday special, and I got a small Coke and a small popcorn. That was a special. I spent like less than $20 at the movies, which is try and do that. It doesn't happen
Yeah,
that much these
that's
days.
true.
So
All right, hey, look, good information for people. Hit that senior discount Tuesdays.
yeah,
That's useful information from
yeah,
us.
useful information. And I think I cracked a mystery of the Chinese takeout menu. We were having a hard time figuring out what the dish was going to be this week.
Mhm.
I have plenty of shrimp dishes that I could do, but since I'm working with a
Oh,
partner,
Mike, that tone.
since I'm working with a partner who I have to do workarounds to get him to
I've,
eat.
I've always said, just tell me what you're getting. I'll just get the chicken version. I promise you.
I,
I promise you. Every dish you can just swap out the protein.
I gave you 3 different shrimp dishes,
No, I
and
just couldn't find them. I looked. I
yeah,
couldn't find them.
I mean one was particularly tantalizing. I had never heard this one before. It was called aromatic ginger shrimp, aromatic,
Yeah. I couldn't find that anywhere.
very intriguing.
Because I'm happy to call even, be like, instead of shrimp, just swap out the chicken. And of course, what are they gonna say?
They're gonna say we don't
They're gonna
have
say,
it.
no, these dishes are for exalted shrimp only. No.
So anyway, we settled on My Fun, which some people will remember Singapore rice noodle.
I was gonna say that's what it reminded me most of. That was back in the early days, Mike.
Yeah, it was one of the early shows. It's a big favorite of mine.
Might have been the first or second one.
Yeah. No, it's a big favorite of mine, Singapore rice noodle. But my menu has Singapore My Fun, but then they had House Special My Fun. So I ordered House Special My Fun.
Mhm.
I could not tell you the difference between House Special My Fun and Singapore My Fun.
Huh.
I think I cracked a mystery here. They're the same damn thing. They've got two items with different names, and it's the same damn dish.
I like it.
I mean, I thought about when I got it home. I looked at it. I'm like, that's Singapore rice noodle, and I'm thinking, what if I ordered both of them at the same time?
Oh, investigative journalism, Mike.
Then I go back to them with the two dishes. Tell me the difference. Tell me the
How
difference.
dare you?
How dare you? You've got two items. It's the same thing.
You ran into the wrong motherfucker.
But you know what? I think I got this at a different place than I got the Singapore rice noodle.
Mhm.
I got this at the Howell Kitchen, which is my favorite. But there was something lacking with mine. It had the shrimp, it had the beef, it had the pork, but the greasy sauce
Mhm.
that usually comes with the Singapore rice noodle just wasn't quite up to speed. I looked at your dish now. I looked at the photo of your dish,
Mhm.
and that dish looked too bright to me.
It was bright, but now that you said, number one, it reminded me of the Singapore noodles, except the time we had the Singapore noodles, they were yellow. These were white. You're right. It's a very clean looking dish. I really liked it. It was very plain, even for me. And I was thinking, this dish needs like a sauce or something. And
Right.
I was even joking. I'm like, God forbid I ask for goop. But as I was throwing the bag away, I noticed some little ramekin or whatever of something red. I just noticed that. I threw it away.
Like sauce? Yeah.
I wonder if that was a sauce. It was like a deep, thick red. Looked like marinara sauce.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay, that's not what you would normally associate.
No. Usually the Singapore rice noodle just has it's not even like a gravy or anything. It's just sort of, I guess the oil that they use in the wok. Jerry will correct us in the comments.
Mhm.
But so yeah, it's not even a real gravy or anything. But yours literally look like spaghetti with the toppings. I mean, all the noodles were underneath the top of that top layer in the photo, right?
Yeah, and it was very like it wasn't greasy at all either. I wouldn't call
No.
it greasy. I actually, this never happens. I ate like half of it. I just have half. I'll probably eat it tomorrow, leftovers.
Oh yeah, I could only eat half of mine as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I got soup with it. That sort of puts a dent in my stomach. But yeah, it was very filling. I'll get 2 meals out of it.
But mine could have used a little salt. Like I did. Well, I only used one packet of soy sauce. Should have kicked in some more. I really liked it. It's right up my alley. It's kind of just noodles and chicken.
Yeah.
A little plain,
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what people think of that photo. It's
it
weird
does
looking.
look like came out of a clinic or something. Like
It looks weird. It looks like spaghetti noodles with chicken on top.
and why didn't I get pork? Why do I always get chicken? Why didn't I get pork? I never, I scream this every week, and then I'm like, I totally forget, and I just get the chicken. Pork,
Yeah.
pork, I think would have been better for this. Would have given a little more life to it.
Mhm.
But overall, I liked it. I like your Singapore rice noodle. Is there a difference in the color? Does that mean anything? Because like I said, the previous was yellow. This was white,
Yeah,
translucent.
when I first started getting Singapore rice noodle, I was living in Queens at the time, and the dish used to have almost like a greenish hue to it, you know?
Mhm. Hmm.
But then I got it down here, it wasn't quite as green, but it was, I guess, like I said, it's the oils they use in the wok when they're mixing it up.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I guess it's gonna vary from place to place. Uh, the My Fun that I got today, it was okay, but it just seemed a little dry.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna dock it a couple points. I
I'd
can
call
only
I'd call mine I'd call mine dry. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only give it like maybe a 7, 7.5 in there. Um, but at least people will know that there isn't really a difference between the My Fun and the Singapore rice noodle. I guess it's just because people know it by different names that they put both of them on the menu.
I guess so, yeah. Why
Well, you
not?
know what? There is a difference. It just occurred to me. Uh, the
After these
Singapore
messages, we'll be back.
the Singapore rice noodle is a spicy dish.
A little
So
spicy here.
so basically, I guess it comes down to whether or not the dish has red pepper in it.
But you think they just do like they normally do? Do you want a spicy version of this dish or not?
Yeah,
You know, I think maybe there's something to that. Different regions, different areas, different people call them different names. So maybe they just throw them all on the menu. Like, fuck it. If they say My Fun, they say Singapore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's probably a lot of improvisation going on back in the kitchen.
yeah. Because I mean, how many times do we joke about it's like Mexican food joke where it's the same three things over and over, just different order.
Yeah,
So here's just another level of that. They do that and they just name it something else. So it looks like twice the amount of stuff. Maybe that's why these menus look so long. They
yeah.
literally are the same six things, just renamed.
Mhm.
I give it like a, I'll go 6.9. It was
6, 9.
fine,
Yeah. Okay.
but
Yeah.
very
Similar.
like if I complain that something's a little too bland,
Yeah.
that's bland.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
bland. You
but
can
no
assure
problem eating
yourself.
it, so it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was happy.
I thought of you. I saw some food in the news.
Oh, not as sexy as I thought, but okay, go on.
Have you seen these
Now I've been
Doritos
out of the loop more than usual since I was on vacay, so
Doritos bagel?
I am listening.
All right. Apparently, there's a place in Long Island. You can get Doritos laced bagels.
Doritos laced bagels.
And it's doesn't have a big fan base yet, but they'll do a batch. I guess it takes a little more time and effort than the usual bagels. Um, you think, well, is this just another influencer driven gimmick? But apparently people like it. They get it with vegetable cream cheese, tomato slices, and bacon.
Now, do you have a picture of it? Like, is it little flecks of Doritos throughout the bagel? Is that all?
Yeah, they bake the bagels, and you get this sort of oven baked uh, bits of Dorito, like you would have like an onion on an onion bagel. So
Yeah.
it's literally
All right.
bits of Doritos.
Mm.
Now you gave us the infamous Doritos and peanut butter.
On rye.
Was your was your bid as a influencer driven gimmick? I don't think it really caught on with the audience. I mean, I haven't seen people saying that they've been eating the peanut butter and Doritos ever since you mentioned it.
I can only bring these horses to water, Mike.
But So what
That's
do you
interesting.
think? You think you'd go for this if you saw it?
I think you'd be more interested when you first said Doritos bagel. I thought like they'd take a bunch of Doritos and like crush them and then like deep fry bagel out of that. That'd
I
be
think there is, in the photo they had like a cross section of the sandwich, and
uh
I think it is sort of intermixed
not
with
not like I think I could,
the dough as well.
but I mean the Doritos as the dough. Like make
Mm.
the Doritos, make it a mix so the Doritos is the dough. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's the yeah. Well,
That'd be something.
the people who like the sandwich said that the Doritos aren't the overwhelming flavor. But judging from what you just concocted, I mean, it would be like eating a giant Dorito
Yes, you're
sandwich.
welcome. Like if you're getting a Doritos bagel, why wouldn't you want the Doritos to be the big flavor? Like,
Mhm.
why else are you paying what I'm sure is, you know, twice as much for a bagel because it says Doritos and not want to be overwhelmed by the Doritos?
Well, they're present, just like an onion bagel. You're not like biting into an onion. A bagel is made out of dough. It's
First of
like
all,
it's
don't ever compare Doritos to onions.
well, yeah.
Ever.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would try one. Uh, but see, I love butter on my bagels. I don't know how that goes with, I could probably make it work.
No, I know people love cream cheese on bagels. I don't think I've ever had cream cheese on bagels in my life.
No, cream cheese sucks. But every time, I don't know if it's a generational thing because young people also don't drink milk. Anytime there's been a lot of companies I've worked at in the past had like Bagel Tuesdays.
Mhm.
One in particular I worked at, and it got to be like more cream cheese spreads than bagels.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be asking for the butter, like, oh, where's the butter? I want some butter. And they'd look at me like I'm an alien farting in church. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
the
it's not
cream cheese, yeah.
crazy, it's butter,
Yeah.
but every possible type of cream cheese.
Mhm.
I'm a lunatic for one butter on my bagel.
Right, yeah.
I'm glad to have met you because you're the only other person I know who turns their nose up at cream cheese on a bagel. So
Yeah, I never got the whole cream cheese thing, and yeah, I can see them being cream cheese snobs because yeah, there's different. You get the vegetable cream cheese, and there's the lox
any
and cream cheese, and yeah, you turn it into a big production. Yeah, butter was
yeah,
always simple enough. Why ruin it?
any flavor you can think of. I'm sure they have double Oreos double stuffed cream cheese, whatever you want. It's
Uh-huh.
gross.
Yeah.
Butter is fantastic. But I'm gonna kick around this Doritos bagels thing. I'm gonna see if I can come up with something a little better for you, Mike.
The Franken.
And you can make fun of me for nobody jumping on my peanut butter Doritos idea.
Uh-huh.
But I was thinking this earlier. I don't think I've given myself enough credit because I rechecked again today while I was ordering the Chinese food. I don't think I've given myself enough credit for what I did with Burger King and their chicken sandwich and Uber Eats.
I knew I'm going to be hearing this for the rest of time, so yeah,
You are. It is
yeah.
incredible.
It was. I give you credit for it. Take the credit for it. You deserve it.
I mean, it'd be nice if Burger King or Uber Eats reached out and said, "Hey, buddy, thanks for that."
Uh-huh.
Whatever. I don't need that, but boy, that seems like one of the rare times where something good came out of like immediate social media action.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that day. I was like, boy, I don't think I've patted myself in the back enough for that. So
All right. Well, we'll set aside a portion of each show
thank
to
you, Mike.
reliving your moment. But
I'm glad you said it.
oh,
Otherwise, I would have.
now there's a lot of food news about these I call them Franken foods, where they're just throwing shit together, getting attention. I mean, the Doritos bagel is an instance of this. Here's another one for you. BBQ gold cornbread crumble ice cream.
Oh, is this at a state fair?
No, this is some Brooklyn fancy ice cream joint. Leeuwen. Have you ever heard of that place? Ice cream. And you're an ice cream guy, right?
I love ice cream. I don't know fancy ice cream.
Never came across that brand.
No, like
Leeuwen.
I mean, if I could only
Ice
ever
cream.
have vanilla Breyers vanilla, I'd be happy. You know, I love barbecue. I love ice cream. I don't know if I need barbecue ice cream, but
You're leaving out the cornbread.
cornbread, which I don't love any either. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not up on that. I don't love that one, Mike.
Yeah,
The
no,
Doritos bagel thing is gonna sit for a little while, but this one is garbage.
yeah, no, that just sounded disgusting to me. And there was a reporter who sampled it. He said he almost had like a full body heave when he tasted it. So it was not exactly an endorsement, but I think there's just people like they hear about something bizarre. I gotta try it. I gotta try it. It's so bizarre. Give it to me. I know you're not drinking anymore, and I congratulate you on doing that. But there's another
It's not
Frankie.
forever. It's just kinda-
Oh, it's going to stop at some point.
hopefully,
Oh, okay. All right.
God willing.
Thanks for the warning.
Things
Dot,
gonna
dot,
stop
dot.
at 5:14 next Wednesday.
There. Well, this may be the thing to break you down. Then there is a brunch flavored liqueur.
Mhm.
Eggo brunch in a jar. Eggo
The
brunch
waffle people,
in a jar.
are they saying I can get waffles in a jar? Because my response to that is yes, please.
Okay. Well, I didn't know how you were going to, respond to the waffles,
Mhm.
but this is a waffle flavored liqueur. Eggo waffles. Let me describe it to you. It's called Eggo brunch in a jar, Appalachian sipping cream. Yeah. The
Why do they
name
have to
sort of,
ruin it? Who's in this marketing session? Who are
this
these
is
fired people?
yeah, no, the back end of that name is not that
Pun
appetite.
intended.
Appalachian sipping cream does not just sort of appeal to general audience, I don't think. But anyway, this apparently has the flavor of Eggo waffles, rich maple syrup, notes of creamy butter. That's when I said, "Oh, this will appeal to Greg."
Right.
I've never heard of a liqueur that had the notes of creamy butter, and then
Wow.
a savory hint of bacon.
All right. I have a lot of thoughts on this one.
Okay.
Number one, that title sounds like something they would have come out of some local place in Williamsburg back in 2004. Whatever we make, let's add the word Appalachia on so it's authentic, like we're the folks.
I
We
don't
can
know.
charge 10 times more for it.
Uh-huh.
So the name is beyond stupid. But I love, like when you say waffles, I think frozen waffles. I've never loved real, real quote unquote real waffles as much as I do frozen waffles.
Yeah.
And when I say frozen waffles, when I was a kid, I think Eggo, they were like I didn't say you had to be a Kennedy to get the Eggos, but they were like the upmarket, whereas we would just get the whatever Safeway brand, and they were squares. Eggos were round.
Right.
Because my frozen waffles are square. To this day, not a lot excites me more than the idea of a square frozen waffle coming out of that toaster.
You still buy them?
Huh? I haven't bought them in a while. And to your note about butter, I'm the same with bagels in that I don't do syrup on my bagels. Or I'm sorry, on my waffles or pancakes. I'm a butter guy. I like to do the butter with the waffles.
Yeah, I like both.
So right up to that point, I'm like kind of into it, other than the stupid name. You know my policy on bacon? I love bacon, but sometimes people try to put bacon into too many places.
Well, that's where I draw the line with this. Yeah, I don't want to drink bacon.
Oh, well, look at us simpatico.
Yeah, I don't want to drink bacon. It's weird to me.
Can I tell you what it sounds like?
Yeah.
After their marketing, whatever fuck up with the name, it seems like they lost confidence in the end. Okay, we're gonna have this Eggo liqueur with hints, with syrup and hints of butter. But at the last moment, they lost their mojo, and somebody said, "Oh, we better throw in some bacon."
Yeah.
Feels like they lost their confidence at the 1 yard line. You know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
right. Yeah, it's like, yeah, let's go for that bacon crowd. They're always out there. People willing to try bacon and anything.
Suckers will try anything
It's
with
lazy.
bacon.
It's lazy. Let's yeah,
Lazy. And yeah, I would have appreciated more if they said, "This stuff is so good, we don't need the bacon."
right. Yeah.
Because it's kind of a unique thing to begin with. I've never heard of a waffle liqueur or a liqueur, to be honest, but you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I feel like they kind of fumbled at the 1 yard line, but you know, if it popped up in front of me, I'd try it, but the bacon might ruin it for me.
And you know, I'm looking at some of the they had some of the marketing promos, and it's just like weird. They seem to be targeting parents, like so like a lot of their copy is talking about you know, Eggo is a longtime breakfast favorite dedicated to helping parents embrace small wins. What the hell does that even mean?
Small wins.
So getting shit faced on a Eggo flavored liqueur is a small
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, we know you're a shitty parent. Here's one way to get that small win in for the day before Junior just runs over you like an asshole that you've raised for the last 7 years.
How about this line?
Eggo.
How about this line? Lego. You see what they did there? Lego. And
Lego
enjoy
man.
that treat yourself feeling brunch evokes.
How many other things can they steal from other places?
I don't
Who are
know.
these marketing geniuses? They have the shittiest, dumbest name in the world.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like, let's market to parents.
Apparently, this isn't the first time Eggo has bonded. It's basically Eggo bonding with the Appalachian Sipping Cream Company.
What the hell is Appalachian Sipping Cream?
They're the ones making the liqueur. That's the brand name. Apparently, they joined forces for Eggo Nog. Eggo Nog, get it?
Yeah,
Appalachian Sipping Cream.
I mean, that kind of writes itself. I mean,
For the holidays, you know. Are you an eggnog fan?
no, it's disgusting.
No. So, yeah, we agree on that one, and so we never came across this before.
I'm suspicious of the whole Appalachian tie-in. Is that the name of a company? Appalachian Cream?
Appalachian Sipping Cream is the alcohol manufacturer, and this thing is strong. 20% alcohol, 40 proof.
Ooh.
40 proof.
That wouldn't that be a great way for me to come off the wagon after 2 years?
Well,
Just
yeah.
drowned in
Now
syrup.
I'm gonna
Maple.
get blamed for this. You
drowned in Eggo.
found the thing that's gonna just like you've combined food and drinking.
Why would a brand as big as Eggo just let themselves be so? Let this Appalachian whatever have equal
Sipping cream.
Sorry, sipping cream. Sorry, man.
It's disgusting. I you know.
Why would it give them equal balance as opposed to here, we'll give you 100 grand to go away. That's very strange, but I don't need to look. If anything, you say waffle, I'm my ears are perked up and I'm listening anytime you say waffle, particularly one with a toasted waffle background.
Mm-hmm.
But there, I do have some suspicions going in. They should know before I try it. So.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know if my local liquor store will stock that, but
can you get it at the store? You'd have to get to the liquor store, I guess.
Yeah, you have to get it at the liquor store. Yeah.
Larry?
Girl, the TikTok phenomena, girl dinner, is still going strong. And I'm thinking,
Girl dinner.
we talked about that, where young ladies just sort of grab whatever's in the refrigerator, they put it on a plate, and they call it dinner.
Isn't that just TikTok?
Well, it's probably spread to the TikTok. I always think of as like the place where it's like I think of these things as like a disease. The viral
Yeah.
videos tend to erupt on TikTok, and then they
I think you're right.
spread out. They spread out over the other social media platforms.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But so girl dinner is still going strong. I'm thinking, what would a guy dinner look like? I mean, it sounds like you would be like a master of putting together. What is some of your classic guy dinners
That I've actually had in the past?
Yeah, what is something that you can look back and maybe you stuck with it, and you went through a period you're eating like this weird mishmash of just stuff that you had in the refrigerator that you put together, call it a meal.
I thought
Yeah.
you meant like to entertain with.
Yeah, it's just kind of like put together. Like the other night, I don't know if I've talked about them before. Do you know the Snack Factory pretzel crisps? Ever come across those? They're thin slivers of pretzels.
Mhm.
I like the garlic parmesan flavored
Mhm.
pretzel crisps. You get those, a bag of those. You have a pretzel crisp. I like it with pub cheese, pub cheddar cheese with horseradish.
All right.
That's delicious. Great for, we're coming up
I
on football season.
I don't think
Have a
there's
little
anything
snack,
odd
watching
about
a
that.
game. So I had that in the fridge. I had some grapes. This is slightly healthy. I had some grapes, and then I had some mixed nuts. We were talking about nuts being healthy
Mhm.
on the last show. So I guess that would be my guy dinner. You got anything come to mind where you've just put random things together, called it a meal?
I mean, I am famous for I'll make anything into a sandwich.
Hmm.
I went through a stretch. I used to love to just butter some Wonder Bread and put spaghetti on it and like
All right.
spaghetti
Yeah.
sandwich.
Okay. That's interesting.
I mean, so yeah, I'll make anything a sandwich. Which is probably where that Doritos thing came from. I think if I was looking through, if I had X-ray vision, in my fridge right now, there's eggs, shredded cheese left over from my White Castle experiment, which nobody cared about. I'm sorry, almost nobody.
Yeah. Almost nobody.
Or the video. I mostly care about the video.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and milk. I think that's it. I got no problem with people Frankensteining foods together.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually of thought if I like A and I like B, why wouldn't I like A and B together? But then for some reason
it's all going to the same place. That's what those people say, right? It's all going to the same place.
Well,
Who
no,
cares?
because that's what somebody who's not picky would say.
Uh-huh.
Although I guess you're kind of right. But then for some reason I have a hang up about mixing bacon with other stuff. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, it's funny you mentioned spaghetti.
Thank you.
There's some sort of phenomena in Germany. It's called spaghetti ice.
Ooh, iced.
Spaghetti with EIS at the end of it, which I guess is ice. And it's what it is vanilla ice cream shaped like spaghetti. So imagine a plate of vanilla ice cream as if it was spaghetti. They put it through
noodles?
this, like a noodle shaped vanilla ice cream, which it's kind of decorative, right? It's
I mean, it lasts for what, 90 seconds before
and then
melting?
instead of tomato sauce, they use strawberry sauce. So it gives the illusion of spaghetti and sauce, but it's really vanilla ice cream and strawberry sauce, which sounds good. But yeah, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick, right?
I mean, this would have been something 20 years ago, but now with all that fondant stuff on cakes and ice cream, you can
Hmm.
make anything out of ice. You can do Pirates of the Caribbean ice cream,
Right.
like no problem. I don't know why Germany's all excited about this. Uh,
40 million servings.
from
40.
one place or like, is
Well,
it like
no, I guess this summer. Uh, can 40 million fans be wrong?
not if they're Egg for What fans? Uh,
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got.
seems fine. I mean, is Mike Lisk going to want to pay $10 extra for the gimmick of for 30 seconds it looks like spaghetti before it melts?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a gimmick.
I mean,
It's a gimmick.
yeah, like all right. Like but even if like you think ice cream gimmicks would lean towards like kids or kids parties,
Hmm.
like no kid is like, oh wow, my ice cream, my birthday ice cream looks like pasta. No kid's gonna be excited about that.
No, no.
But
This is for silly
I eat it.
adults. It's for silly adults, you know?
What would the so it's usually is it only vanilla with the strawberries?
Yeah, because it looks like noodles, right? You know,
And then big something for like chocolate for meatballs, maybe?
well, that's an idea.
Well, I do, Mike.
There you go.
I'd eat it if it showed up, but even I'd
uh,
be outraged.
uh-huh.
Usually I'm clueless with stuff like that. Even
Mm,
I'd get a little annoyed. I would do my Mike Lisk impression. I'm
mhm,
paying another $4 for this.
uh-huh. Speaking of the little ones, did you see the story about a 3-year-old? He I guess his mother fell asleep. He was a twin. So his
None
so
of this sounds like it's going to go anything other than horribly.
no,
Even the way you said the
this is a
little
happy
ones.
story. Mike is trying to bring a
Okay.
little light to the people. This
E-
is a nice lighthearted story.
Even the way you said the little ones made it sound like the little ones now dear departed to heaven.
No, this
And when you say somebody was a twin,
no, this 3-year-old twin, he got a hankering for McDonald's. Mama was asleep. His brother was asleep.
I like this kid.
He escaped his crib. He escaped his house. And he wandered over to the McDonald's playground. And his poor mother, yeah, she woke up to him missing. She was naturally alarmed, began searching everywhere. He wasn't in the backyard of a neighbor where I guess he's wandered off before. And I guess this McDonald's is across the street. And so she went over there, and sure enough, there was her 3-year-old son playing. Well, the management at McDonald's realized there was a situation going on.
Mhm.
So they kept him safe until she arrived.
All right.
So it was a happy ending.
Happy ending.
So my story, my question to you is, did you wander as a young person looking for food or candy? I mean, when I was young, I mean, I lived in the suburbs, but we had, within a mile or two, we had access to a 7-Eleven. And that, of course, became the main focus
Mhm.
of our quest. As young kids on bikes, we would roam. We would go up there for Slurpees.
Still love 7-Eleven.
And then we would go up there for candy. Uh, so did you have that growing up where you were doing candy runs or Slurpee runs?
It's strange because where I grew up, there's nothing within 10-mile radius. Like
Wow. Yeah.
if I had said I'm gonna walk to find food as a 3-year-old, my parents would have said, "Good luck, see you." Except for the fact that 5 houses down there was a little country store
Hmm.
that is still kicking.
Really? Okay.
That's where I've told the story about in the mornings, my brother would go get the morning newspaper from our father. The afternoon, I would have to go get it and be
Mhm.
chased by the death hell hound, Doberman Pinscher. And they had penny candy,
Right.
counter. And so sometimes I guess if I'd nagged my mother enough, she'd let me get some penny candy. That's where I first had that zero bar that I used to talk about like a year ago on the show. But so we did have that, but I never had any money to buy any candy.
Hmm.
I didn't really fetishize candy then. I didn't
No.
really. So but yeah, that would have been the only chance within a million miles. And yeah, back then you just, I don't know, like I look back now as a kid, you were just used to not having shit.
Hmm.
Didn't have anything, weren't gonna have anything, kind of didn't bother asking and just assume nobody had nothing.
Yeah, no, I remember I had like little chores around the house. I'm thinking about where I got the money to do this.
Mhm.
And it wasn't just the candy. There was I've talked about the Red Moon Pizzeria, which is
Mhm.
still a business, still going strong, even despite they had a fire. They came back after the fire. Um, but yeah, we would ride our bikes to the highway to get pizza or candy or Slurpees. But I guess I get the money for different chores. You know,
Mhm.
we had me and my brothers had to mow the lawn. I had like a little gig cleaning up this room that I'm sitting in, the recreation room.
You did a great job, Mike.
Well, it's no, you can't see a lot of it, and I've got a lot of work to do. But I need the incentive, I guess, of a few bucks. But now, yeah, being 10 miles away from anything, yeah, that seems like wow, that would be a big adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, I look back now. It was kind of super lucky that we had that country store right there.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't know
Did
what
they
we
have the
ever.
wax
Yeah,
candy with the colored fluid in it?
yeah.
Did they have that?
Whatever candy. I'm trying to picture, like, what the hell was penny candy? Like I look back now, it was just like rock hard candy
Yeah.
in whatever shape or color at the time.
Oh, they'd scoop it out. It was one of those deals.
I guess. Jeez. Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
Bazooka Joe was always the, bubble
Yeah.
gum.
Well, that's right. Oh yeah, bubble. It was bubble yum or hubba bubba, right?
Well, yeah, they had all sorts of brands. Yeah, I mean, I stuck to Bazooka Joe. It was the cheapest. If you only had a few pennies, you could get
Yeah.
a couple pieces of bubble gum.
Yeah, I think it was hubba bubba. You get a quarter, you save a quarter, you get a pack of hubba bubba, 5 pieces of bubble gum to last you the month. It would last me until I walked, the 5 houses to my house. I'm sure I was done with it. I don't know where we actually. It's not like we shopped there for groceries or anything. I guess it was like an emergency if you needed something other than the daily paper uh and whatnot. But I
But
did used to get my Kiss trading cards there.
you
And
still
Elvis.
have those?
No.
No.
But
Did
I
you go
told you the
through?
story about walking home and opened up the package and it had a note, on I don't know, August 23rd at 8 p.m. on ABC, Phantom of the Park, Kiss. And it happened to be that day.
Really? Okay.
I was like, oh my God. Like this is a message from God. He really wants me to see this. Put it into
Did
my Kiss cards.
Did you watch it? It's a bizarre movie.
I'm sure I made it through like 10 minutes before my parents were like, turn this shit off. Are you kidding me? I can't imagine
Uh-huh. Oh
anybody.
no, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, sitting with my parents. Did you have to watch everything with your parents?
Yeah, we only had the one TV.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And we weren't, like, if when my dad came home from work, you weren't sitting there watching TV. You had to be up pretending to do shit. So yeah, we could. With rare instances, we could be glued to the TV anyway, So, but
What were some of your make work? What was like your classic? Well, I guess reading a book, right? Maybe reading a book.
the number one thing that got me out of made up bullshit chores was read. If you were reading a book,
Uh-huh.
it was like, oh, okay, I'll move on. But yeah, if you were just sitting there staring at the TV or like staring into space, which I probably did way too much,
Uh-huh.
boom, you're outside doing some just invented job. like shifting gravel around the driveway. So, uh, so yeah, we weren't going to sit around watching the Phantom of the Park anyway. So
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I tried, but I don't think it happened. But I still remember that feeling like, oh my God, that is today.
Uh-huh. Did you get any reading done on your vacation? You said you were very ambitious. You were going to bring 2 books.
I was very ambitious.
you,
Boy.
you didn't crack it open once, right?
No, I got through.
Or on the plane, maybe.
I got around. I got Look Homeward Angel.
Yeah.
I'm about 150 pages in.
Oh, wow.
It's a miracle considering I was just surrounded by kids the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Wow, that's a pretty good dent.
that was pretty good then. And
You're
I
enjoying it?
Huh?
Are you enjoying it?
Yes and no. I want to hear
Yeah.
what you had because I feel like you kind of said. I feel like is it all set up? Like it's all like let's just spend years detailing everything about this person and people
Yeah.
around them, so that the last 3 pages are what happens. Like, is it all exposition in that way?
Yeah.
I don't know. What have you been reading?
Well, no, yeah, it's the chapters are like hit or miss, and he keeps going for this poetic style, and it just doesn't suit this what he's saying. Like you probably read that chapter where he's just coming back to town. He went to California and he's coming back to town, and he's having all these thoughts while he's on the train and stuff. And it's just like, really, can we move this along? It just seems like
yeah. At some point, I'm like, can we get to something happening? I mean, I don't want to sound like those people who would.
But you're the Proust guy. You're the Proust guy. I thought you had high tolerance for this.
I don't mind the style. Yeah, I don't know, but then you're right, like because it has a kind of hard-baked Americana Western or Midwestern turn of the century thing to it, where it should be a little more direct, like bam, 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 more drier than Proust. I don't mind that style, but although to your point, it's probably doesn't fit. I'm still hanging it because I'm like, at any moment, something incredible is going to happen.
Well, you've already gotten past when his brother dies. I thought that, didn't you? That
No,
you haven't gotten to that part.
No.
Oh, I thought you passed that part.
Great.
Anyway, it occurs early.
I mean, with all those kids at that time in history,
right? Yeah, it's natural, right? It was natural back then. You have a big brood of kids. They're not all going to make it.
Not all going to make it.
But I thought when you get to that chapter, I think it's handled very well. It's very poignant. So yeah, you keep going because you hit these little patches like, oh, that was great, but then you get some more boredom and you're hoping for some more great parts.
There's something to it that's holding me, but then I'm tempted to like skip entire paragraphs, which isn't good either.
No.
So I don't know. How far along are you?
I thought you were actually ahead of me, but maybe I'm further in than I thought. Yeah, I did slow going. It's not like I'm looking forward to it every night to look at it. And I'm actually juggling it with another book.
Yeah.
Ever hear of a book called You Can't Win by Jack Black?
Jack Black?
It's supposedly, it's supposedly a true story about, it's a weird that this is another coming of age story like Look Homeward Angel. But this is a kid who sort of ends up on the wrong side of the tracks. He runs away. He ends up hanging out with hobos, living that lifestyle, gets into some petty crime. It was a favorite book of William Burroughs. I guess it came out in the 1920s or 30s. Interesting book. Interesting situations, let's put it that way.
You're enjoying it more than Look Homeward Angel?
What's that?
You're enjoying it more than Look Homeward Angel?
It has you can read it fast. It's not a highfalutin prose style, so you can just sort of zip through it. He's just giving you the action, right? So it's kind of the opposite. But so yeah, I think I'm gravitating to that more now. It's always a struggle. You get two books going, one book's like battling it out for your attention, you know?
Yeah, I didn't even get started on I had a second one. I didn't even get to that one, but I don't want to seem like I don't like. I, there's plenty of slow books I love,
Hmm.
but this just seems to be like constant build up. I assume setup exposition for something, and it's like,
Hmm.
I feel like it could have been 40 pages, you
Okay.
know. But I am a sucker. I think I'm a sucker for those early 20th century settings where the guy is always a no good. He's always an asshole, but he somehow seems to have this hardworking wife and 12 kids, and
Hmm.
he always goes, once a month he goes off like a loon drinking for 4 days. Uh,
Yeah.
he always has a new starch collar for his
Mhm.
shirt. I'm always a sucker for those. In this one, I'm like, I don't know why the guy's so angry. His wife is just snatching up land.
Yeah, no, she's
I'm
very
like,
business. Yeah, she's very business oriented, and yeah.
I'm like, I understand these are different times, but
Uh-huh.
she's buying like half of Missouri or whatever
No,
for you.
North Carolina. Come on.
North Carolina, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe a thank you every once in a while.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to end.
They're an
With it.
odd. Yeah, they're definitely an odd couple. Yeah.
Odd couple, just based in misery, yet at the same time, unlike most novels set in that period, where the people usually are kind of miserable, you kind of have to be reminded, oh yeah, they own a bunch of stuff,
Mhm.
and she's working hard, but it's at her own
Yeah,
place.
and yeah, even though he's a bit of a lunatic, I mean, he's got his own little business.
Right.
He's got the gravestone business going. So
Oh, and oh shit, I was gonna mark a passage. A couple of times I've done this, but there's one in particular where they describe the breakfast they eat before going out to work,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Ooh, glorious. I'm
yeah,
like, you better be working hard to burn up those 12,000 calories 3 times a day.
yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah, it was quite a
That's
spread.
incredible.
It was quite a spread.
Every meal.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't know why this guy's so, you have to remind yourself, this guy's probably in the whatever percent for that time, and then like, oh, I'll go to the World's Fair. And like, that seems possible. Okay. So there's something about it that's keeping me hooked.
mhm.
So, we'll see.
Well, we'll follow up in future episodes
We will follow up, people.
if we make it. If I make it, I keep this. I seem to be stalling on books lately.
Yeah. I mean, Oliver Twist wasn't easy to finish. But I like that a lot. But that's another one, like, I had to quit Bleak House because Dickens is like the guy, the sitcom who, with 4 episodes left,
Mm.
and everybody just wants all the characters to be that they love, that they want their plots tied up, but he's still introducing characters every 3 minutes.
Hmm.
But so I did like Oliver Twist, even though it's typical Dickens. It could have been half the book, but
Well, yeah. I mean, it was different times.
yeah.
He got paid for stretching it out, right?
And there's a lot of Three's Company going. Like, I love A Tale of Two Cities, but the whole thing is based on the incredible coincidence that the two guys look exactly alike. Like, this thing could have been a 60-second Three's Company episode, but yeah, I don't mind crapping out on books. Like, I used to have a policy, I refuse to give up on a book. I don't have that policy anymore, but I'm gonna give Look Homeward Angels a little more run.
Did you want to talk about Only Fools and Horses? I saw you building up to some sort of you wanted to
Oh,
make a declaration of the best scenes or something.
well, there's 2 big things, Mike. Thank you for bringing it up, Mike. Oh, did you see my hat? Is that why? Well, the big news is you were never a fan of Frasier, right?
No, I didn't make it to Frasier. I mean, that's a spin-off of Cheers, right?
Yeah. So it's one of my, I don't know if it's top 10, but top 15 sitcoms of all time. So if they're rebooting it, and one of the main characters is going to be Nick Lyndhurst, as you and I know him, Rodney from Only Fools and Horses.
Really? Wow. Okay.
So I'm like, whoa. So my comedy world, sitcom world's, combining. I'm an idiot, so I'm hoping that this will get people interested in Only Fools and Horses. Probably won't happen.
Mhm.
Just like in college when everybody got the first Paul Westerberg solo CD. And so I thought that I'll run out and get the replacements catalog. They did not. But I'm just happy to see him in a big show. But there's a question, and I haven't released this. This is going to be the public announcement. Well, I guess by the time people hear this, well, no, that's probably not true. What the best scene is, the iconic Dell falls through the bar or the chandelier scene, which I won't give away.
I think I've
You-
seen the chandelier scene. That's when they
Okay.
were doing the work at the house.
Right. And
What was it? What was the episode?
I don't want to give away the ending.
Well, now just remind me.
They had hired, they'd gotten themselves hired at this mansion to.
No, I remember that one.
Yeah.
What episode was the first falling through the bar? You said.
Oh, you haven't seen that because that's the first episode of the sixth season.
Oh, okay.
That's usually voted the funniest scene in BBC history.
Really?
It's worth going on YouTube. It just spells it out in the title, which I hate. Dell falls through the bar, but it's hilarious.
All right.
But I put the chandelier scene above it because the fall through the bar scene is just hysterical. Whereas the chandelier scene has some build up to it. As a viewer, anybody watching it thinks they see what's about to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what happens.
Really? Okay.
What does happen is twice as funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I just appreciate it more. It's more of a build up as opposed to, hey, this funny thing happened. So I'm officially putting the chandelier scene above the Del Boy falls to the bar scene, but I would poke everybody to watch every episode, at least those two scenes. So
Yeah. If you can get past Uncle Albert.
don't you dare. He's not. Well, Granddad's in the chandelier scene, and Albert's not in the bar scene. So.
Okay. Well,
I'll post a clip of the bar scene because it's kind of independent anyway. It's not
yeah.
of the story or whatever.
Mhm.
Just the random. It happened to the writer. A version of it happened, and so they put it in there, and it's the biggest scene in BBC history.
Is this going to be the first American series that actor's been in, Del Boy?
Well, it's not Del Boy, it's Rodney.
Oh, Rodney. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Really? Okay.
I think so, and that's a good question too. I wonder if now that barrier has kind of been broken.
Has
You
it
know,
been broken? You think that many
Well-
people are watching British television,
Well,
even
I think
though
more.
they have access to it?
I mean, look at me. I didn't 10 years ago. I just didn't have access to it.
Right. Yeah.
Now that I do, it's like a whole nother world open. So I do think that more of it being available on streaming would lead more people to watching it.
Mhm.
And vice versa. People over in Britain watching Cheers or whatever, you
Mhm.
know. So I would assume so. So then I wonder if the next step is, iconic British actors being on American shows and vice versa.
Yeah. No, that would be an interesting way to generate.
Yeah.
Who's
Well,
this guy?
like,
Yeah.
why not?
Right.
So I'm excited to see Rodney with Frasier, and I officially picked the chandelier scene. And you need to keep watching. You need to get over your Uncle Albert hate. He served his king and country in the Navy.
Yeah,
Spent
no,
5
I should get back to Cheers as well. I sort of just put both of them on hold. I was enjoying them.
Yeah.
Although Uncle Albert did give me pause. I was like, I got to deal with this guy and his sea adventures, and it just seemed a
You're
bit
upset
much.
about this. I know you're upset about anytime you bring up Uncle Albert. You seem genuinely upset about him talking about his time in the Navy.
Yeah, it's just
Which is funny because I don't even think you've made it to what became his catchphrase
Oh, okay. What's the
during the
catchphrase?
war, which would drive Del and Rodney crazy. So, yeah, you've got an uphill battle with Uncle Albert, but I promise you, it'll be worth your while.
Should I ask if you got a fortune cookie?
Ooh, I got 2. I'll be right back.
He's got two. Do, 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 do.
Oh, that's beautiful hold music, Mike. You're doing a great job.
You like that? Oh, there you go. Well,
That's it. Which one should I do?
just do one. Yeah, save one for next week. Left.
This one. All right.
I got mine here. A man's dreams are an index to his greatness. Yeah, I don't get it either.
But if you're not watching, my head literally just fell off my shoulders with my eyes.
Why is
bleeding
it the
blood.
index? Why is it not the dreams are the main, the first chapter, the main chapters? Why the index?
Yeah, I don't know. That seems a bit bullshitty. Huh. All right. You ready for mine?
Yeah.
All right. This makes me feel bad because the amount of time I spend on this podcast shitting on my friends. You will always be surrounded by good friends.
There you go.
You know what? Tough. That's a tough one. I'm a little. You talk, Mike. You talk, Mike.
I can tell. I can tell. You get
That's
worked
not-
up. You get worked up.
And that is, I don't know if it'll always be true, but that is a fortune. It is saying something will happen.
Uh-huh.
That's a very. It's tough for me to make fun of this one. You'll always be surrounded by good friends. Now I'm
Should
gonna
we
have to
make
make a shitty joke because I feel emotional. That's how,
Should we-
and that's how I stifle my feelings.
Should we make the announcement, the big announcement for the 5 people who make it to this point in the podcast?
Big announcement being
The big announcement being that the Best Show has announced that it is going to do a 24-hour show
woo,
that they did last year. They're going to make it an annual tradition.
right?
It's on September
Was last year
12th.
the first year they did it?
This is going to be the second year. They did it last year.
Okay, that was the first year. Okay.
And it was a spectacular event with so many guests, wall to wall.
How's my drum roll? Can you hear my drum roll? I've
No,
been
I
waiting
can't.
for this. I've been waiting for a month to be able to reveal it.
So this year,
Yeah.
Egg Foo What is going west.
No.
We're gonna be part. We're gonna be part
Oh,
of the 24-hour Best Show. Worlds
Say that
collide. Talk about worlds colliding.
Say that again because I literally just barked over your whole announcement.
Egg Foo What is going to be part of the 24-hour Best Show. Me and Greg are going west. We start hitchhiking tomorrow.
Manifest destiny.
Greg, is starting from Virginia. I'm starting from New Jersey, just like Jack Kerouac and On the Road. And
If
we're
I
gonna
start
have-
walking now,
We're
boy,
going
the
to
weight
have
I'll
our
lose.
adventures, but we will be reunited in California. This will be the first time for me in California.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Now, you said you've been there, but not really for any length of time.
Well, no, I went to LA once, but that's just for work, 24 hours. But I did spend a week in Napa Valley a couple years ago. That was super
Oh.
nice.
Okay.
Kind of its own thing.
Did you go to some wineries, do that whole
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah, bunch of wineries. It was super nice.
Uh-huh.
But I've never really hung out in like LA or whatever. So tell the kind folks what's expected from us while we're out there.
I don't know that there's much expected to us, but we're going to be part of the general fun environment. I'm sure we'll be busy off stage as well as on stage, so it's just going to be a fun event.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you were able to swing a couple extra days for vacation to come out there.
Yep.
I'm jealous of the airfare that you got because
I keep checking that.
you're gonna get turned away at the airport. You think?
Yeah, like once a week, I'm like, that can't be. And I check it, and it's like that's what it was. A ridiculously low flight. So I'm super excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. I've kind of start telling people that I'm meeting all these celebrities, so it'll help me with the ladies. And this will be the first time you and I will have seen each other
Oh, it's been a while. Yeah.
since it would have to be before I left Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't doing the softball thing after 2007, I think.
Yeah,
So
I saw you after that.
did we? I mean, yeah, maybe we went to some concerts or something. I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe different things. I go to Brooklyn. Uh,
Like you would have come over for some shows or like, did you come? You didn't come to my 40th birthday party?
I, was I at your 30th?
30th, yeah, but 40th, no.
I don't think I was there for the 40th.
Did you come to our friend G's 50th birthday
I don't think so.
5, 6 years ago?
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, once I was out of the softball, I wasn't going over there as often.
But you'd still pop up for like shows and stuff.
Yeah, different things.
So it could be 15 years since we've been in the same room. Is
That's
that
true.
insane?
Yeah, time is just flies. It's ridiculous. And this will be the first time we share accommodations since I slept in the warehouse one night.
I should take my savings from this ridiculously low flight and just get my own room. I don't know.
But no, I'm sure we're going to have some fun out there, and I'm hoping everybody will be excited to be a part of it. Tuning into the best show, 24-hour show.
Do you want to do any advertising and promos for that big event itself, other than us? Like
I'm working. I've got something in the works. Maybe a big announcement will be forthcoming on the show. Yeah, I've got a couple ideas. We're going to do some stuff while we're out there. Maybe we'll do a little remote. Try some egg foo young out on the West Coast. See
I
if
bet they got some good egg foo young out there.
See if it's superior to the East Coast. Yeah, there'll be lots of stuff going on.
Can you tell me the 3 biggest celebrities I will be hanging out with?
No, I can't unveil the secret surprise list. But
I'm excited, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Now, can we videotape the moment we see each other in the same room for the first time so we can finally show the people what it looks like when Mike Lisk is just bawling uncontrollably?
Yeah, no, I'm putting you in charge in a lot of the videos since you have mastered the skill.
Since I'm the one that does them all.
We can because you're good at it. You have better editing skills than me. All I can do is hit the button and jump in front of a camera. That's about all I'm good for.
Well, that's not so.
Yeah, we'll
definitely have some off-site fun.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're gonna have some video stuff being posted on social media as part of our tour of LA.
What's that strip club stipend gonna be?
No strip clubs. No strip clubs.
Just before noon? Just cheap
before. Yeah, that's always the best time to go to a strip club.
That's what we should do. Find the shittiest strip club, because a lot of times they have buffets.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the lunch special.
For some reason, there must be one with a Chinese buffet.
Well, I'll put you on that. You can find, if you find that, I will tag along.
Okay.
And you're gonna pay for the Uber as well.
If we can find a strip joint with a Chinese buffet, I will pay for it.
Yeah, tell us if you know a place in the comments. Let Greg know. Anyway, I think we better leave it there before
is it LA? Where should we?
We're going to be in LA. We're going to be in Burbank.
Yeah, and let's be clear. When we go to this strip club at 10:30 a.m., we're not there for lap dances. We're not there for any shenanigans. We're there for the food.
Yeah, always the rarest of strip club customers, the people who are there for the food.
We're going to be the living embodiment of just reading Playboy for the articles. I'm looking forward to it, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for listening. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. You know what to do. We'll see you next week. And then we're going to see you in LA in a couple weeks.
Do whatever Mike says down there. Mike, you've done a great job lifting my spirits. I was a little down, so looking forward to next week. And blah, blah, blah. Thanks, buddy.